So, I have some opinions on Poppy Playtime. Now, before I get into these opinions, I must state this. I have not played Poppy Playtime myself or any of its chapters. Now, you may think it's unfair to have opinions on a game you've never played, but I would say that you're allowed to have them as long as you've at least seen some gameplay of it. And I've seen multiple different gameplays of this game, and every chapter that has been released for it thus far. Still, if you don't want to hear what I have to say about this game because you think I should play it myself, then that is fine. As for the rest of you, here's what I have to say about this game. So, the first chapter of Poppy Playtime does a great job at getting you invested. You wonder who sent you that letter, why everyone in the factory is gone, what happened here, why is there so much blood, and many other things. And the chase section that you have in the game is pretty tense but fun. It also does a good job at teaching you how your new tool, the grab pack, will work. So it's all around a solid chapter, and you get to play it for free right now. Although apparently it wasn't free when it first released. I didn't notice that, since by the time I heard about this game it was already free on Steam, so... Anyway, on to the second chapter. This one introduced the fact that there can be different hand variants for your grab pack, which is pretty cool and makes you wonder where they could go with this. It's a shame that most of the chapter does not make good use of this fact. There's only certain sections of the game where the new hand is used, so it can feel a bit wasted here. However, the next chapter of the game would have a pretty nice redemption arc for the different hands. As for the second chapter itself, it looks very mid to me. Not too impressive, but not too boring either. The third chapter of this game is where everything peaked in Poppy Playtime. Catnap is the best villain in this chapter, and it feels like he's stalking you the entire time through the game, even though he isn't actually there. Of course, he isn't the only villain you face here. There are others as well, such as Mrs. Delight, although she's only in one part of the game and she kinda dies in a pathetic way if you ask me. Still though, I do like what they did with her in that section, with the fact that you have to keep looking at her to prevent her from moving. Reminds me of the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who in a way. Also, the atmosphere in this chapter is a lot darker than the previous two chapters. You don't need to play the game to see that. Just watching it can give you those impressions. Also, the sections with the red smoke, where you experience nightmares, was creative and mysterious. It makes you wonder who you are playing as and what their history is with Playtime Co. Which, by the way, the game has made no effort in exploring beyond this chapter. So far, we only know that we're an employee that worked at the factory. We do not know our position or anything like that. I guess we'll have to wait and see in the next chapter. As for the fourth chapter of Poppy Playtime, I don't know how to feel about it. I do feel like some characters were wasted in this chapter. For example, Pianosaurus. This guy got an entire comic about him, showing you how he ended up in the place that he was in when you found him. But he is soon killed off by the other character of this chapter, Doughy the Dough Man. Look, I will admit this. I wasn't that invested in Pianosaurus, but even I think that he should have gotten more screen time than that. In fact, I was picturing this in my mind. You fall into the room like normal, and then he spots you. Instead of charging towards you right away, Pianosaurus gives you the chance to get up whilst he plays off-key notes at you. You now have to move around the room carefully, doing your best to not upset him, because if you do, the notes get darker, and then he gets more aggressive. If you screw up too much, that is when he attacks you and kills you, or maybe throws you around the room. Maybe you could throw in some distractions of some kind. I don't know. Anything other than he gets killed by Doughy instantly. I feel like it would have made that section a lot more memorable. And maybe Pianosaurus could have stuck around, stalking you in the shadows. So every time you heard that haunting music in the distance, you would know that he is nearby, getting ready to strike. Sadly, that didn't happen. However, maybe Mob Entertainment can introduce another one, giving him another chance to shine. I would like that, and I'm pretty sure many others would too. Moving on now, what did I think about the rest of the chapter? Well, to be honest with you, I do feel like it was a step down from the previous one. I also felt like Doughy should not have become another boss monster for you to fight. We already had 2 boss fights. We didn't need another, but we got one anyway. And another character was wasted. At least he got more screen time than some of the other characters in this game did. Whether or not that's a good thing or a bad one, one? I'll let you guys decide. On to the current available chapter of Poppy Playtime, Chapter 5. Whilst this chapter did have an amazing start, with you being chased by Huggy and all that, things begin to go downhill after that point. Now, don't get me wrong, the prototype's reveal was the best part of this game. I think his design is great. I can easily see why the other toys fear him. If this thing was in front of me, I would be scared of him too. However, there were some parts to this chapter that did annoy me, specifically with this character known as Giblet. The amount of times that he says, "I'm not a hero," is ridiculous. Like, buddy, did I ask? I have no idea what this guy's obsession with being the hero is. I just want him to stop. And hopefully, Mob Entertainment would have listened to the valid criticism of this game and improve upon the issues with this chapter, such as the fact there was a lot of puzzles in this chapter. I didn't really notice it before, but when I went back to rewatch those old chapters, I started to see the increase. I thought this game was pretty balanced in exploration, puzzle solving, and chase sequences, but I guess I was wrong about that. Also, I just wanted to talk about this real quick. In chapter 4, you go out of your way to get a specific hand, something called the Omni Hand. This thing can apparently control the entire facility, but we never get to see that in use. And you know what's worse? We lose this hand in chapter 5. So it makes you wonder why we went through all of that effort just to get it. I understand why they had to get rid of it, but come on, man. Could you have not at least introduced some more things that needed the Omni Hand first before getting rid of it? Such a missed opportunity. So, what is my overall opinion of this game? I would say that some chapters are a hit and some of them are a miss. Although it does depend on your preferences. For example, some will play the game for the lore and story. Others will play it for the gameplay. Some will play it for the puzzles it has. And others are playing it because they're curious on how it'll end. If you're curious which camp I'm in the camp that's curious about how this game is going to end. Let me know which camp you're in the comments below. Before I go though, one piece of advice I have for those who want to play this game. Don't get attached to anyone or anything. Not even your grab pack. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.